The big huge fella in the middle.
West for the second half of this Limerick Junior A Football Championship final between Cappamore and Kildimo Pallaskenry. Cappamore leading 1-4 to 5 points after what can only be described as a fairly poor first half. We've 2 subs in for Kildimo Pallaskenry at the start of the second half. Kyle Hayes, Limerick All-Ireland Senior Hurling Championship winner, is in midfield, and Limerick under-21 hurler Darren O'Connell has also come into the field for Barry Walsh and Dara Walsh are the men to have departed. Both players of course picked up yellow cards in the latter stages of that first half. Matt, first of all, hoping for a better second half.
Yeah, we're hoping for a better second half overall, and obviously Kildimo Pallaskenry have rung the changes, and we have one of those on the ball straight away. And has he kicked the point? Literally within seconds, Darren O'Connell has kicked the point.
Fantastic score from Darren O'Connell, introducing himself here to the game immediately, just as Matt said, seconds after coming on. 1 point between the teams again. Fantastic score from him. Took the pass from Peter Nash after Tony McCarthy laid the ball into him, and Brian Leahy to restart here again. And Cappamore holding a 1 point lead. It's a long one from Leahy, pushing the back. The judges referee Jonathan Hayes by Eamon Sheehan on Tony McCarthy. Is McCarthy going to take this free again? And Kildimo Pallaskenry looking like the main business early on, Matt.
Yeah, and it appears to me that whilst it's a wing back and a wing forward that has gone off, whilst Darren O'Connell would appear maybe to have been gone in as a somewhat direct replacement for...
And Darragh Deegan with a goal chance here, and hit the post from nowhere. Lost possession as he was running in towards goal. Decided to fly hack it on the ground. First time effort. Caught everyone by surprise, including us here in the commentary box. Cracked off the post, and a Cappamore foot got back to divert it out for a 45, but a huge goal chance there for Kildimo Pallaskenry.
Yeah, a very, very promising start, but I was saying there that Darren O'Connell seems to have replaced Dara Walsh in a straight replacement, but it looks to me as if Kyle Hayes is lining up at midfield, or he looks to be in a kind of a wing back position at the moment, and I think it was actually a free in there, wasn't it? Yeah,
Jonathan Hayes playing advantage there as Darragh Deegan was fouled as he ran towards goal. It's Peter Nash who taps it over. We have an all-square game once more. Cappamore 1-4, Kildimo Pallaskenry 7 points in the early stages of this second half as Brian Leahy again waits to restart play here in Newcastle West. As Leahy, another fine kick out from him towards the centre of the field. It's punched forward by Kyle Hayes, his first bit of action since he came on at half time. And now it's Peter Nash in possession, and Nash running towards goal, lays the ball off to Darren O'Connell. He's already scored 1 point since coming in at half time. Well defended by Diarmuid Sheehy. Got a foot on the ball to get it away from O'Connell, and now it's going to be a free out to Cappamore. Good defender from Cappamore in that case, Matt.
Good defending, and but all the pressure in the first 2 to 3 minutes of this second half has been exerted by Kildimo Pallaskenry. They will have been delighted with the response of their team, their management down here, Noel McCarthy and co. But particularly what they will be delighted with is that they've converted the chances that they've got into scores, albeit one of them is a free, but certainly the first score that Darren O'Connell got was certainly a score that would inspire his team, and it looks he's been lively since he's come on. He's been on the ball a couple of times, and of course fresh legs. But certainly it looks as if the changes so far appear to have improved Kildimo Pallaskenry. They were very much on the front foot in the first 15 minutes of the game. The difference was that they were failing dismally to find the target. They found it twice in the first 2 minutes of the second half, which augurs well for Kildimo Pallaskenry, and maybe augurs well for the second half in that Cappamore will really have to come out now at this stage.
Definitely more urgency from Kildimo Pallaskenry in the early stages of the second half as Peter Nash again receives attention, but it's Diarmuid Sheehy who restarts play with a free, lays it off to his full-back partner Jason Fitzgibbon. The ball has gone out over the sideline, over the far side here in Newcastle West. It's going to be a line ball for Cappamore and Sheehy launches one. No messing around with that one from Diarmuid Sheehy. Launches it long. Keil Maloney got up for Kildimo Pallaskenry, but it's Packy Doyle who's going to get first to the ball here. He gives it first time in. All the way down to Andy Murphy down that far side over by the dressing rooms here in Newcastle. As Murphy tried to give a neat ball inside, there was a hand got to it from Kildimo Pallaskenry's defender, and they come away with the ball again. It's Tony McCarthy, as Peter Nash, who's definitely moved out a lot further from it where he was in the first half. In the early stages of the second half, it's a low ball in from him for Deegan. Deegan now, he's got Connor Staff on his outside. He decides to lay it back to Nash. Shooting chance for Nash, and Kildimo Pallaskenry have their third point of the second half. It's the second for Nash, and they're into the lead.
Yeah, and Peter Nash was central to that move in that he won the ball around midfield, took it forward, laid it off, and was there to take the return pass. Still had a bit of work to do to finish it off, but did it. We did say at the very outset that we would have thought that Peter Nash would be more effective further out the field and corner forward. It looks that might be the case.
Sideline ball now for Kildimo Pallaskenry, and it's them in possession again with Nash. Back to Tony McCarthy on the run now. Tony McCarthy, he's Nash back behind Nash again. Shooting chance, dummies onto his left, takes it on another man. Over carried according to Jonathan Hayes. A fair call from Hayes there, it has to be said. But Matt, no question, Kildimo Pallaskenry dominating the second half. But as you mentioned earlier, this time they're taking their chances.
Yeah, that is the big difference, and it's a vital difference from the Kildimo Pallaskenry point of view. Had they the same accuracy in the first half, they could be in a comfortable position by now. As we speak, Cappamore are bringing in a sub. Jack Sheehan is coming into the game.
It's Jackie Sheehan on for Packy Doyle on the Cappamore side. First substitution of the game from them. Of course, Kildimo Pallaskenry bringing on Kyle Hayes and Darren O'Connell at half time. O'Connell already with a point to his name, with Kyle Hayes operating at midfield. Right in front of us here in the commentary box, right on top of Eamon Sheehan is Diarmuid Sheehy. Restarts play, lays the ball off to Declan Deere. Deere a quiet half for Cappamore in that first half. He'll be looking to have more of an influence as Sheehy comes out with the ball now for Cappamore. Poor enough hand pass from Diarmuid, but he's able to win possession, but loses it again to Connor Staff, and Staff again on the run. Good defending from Con Berkery to dispossess him from possession. Ball's gone out over the end line. Instead, Jonathan Hayes is given a free for a push on a Cappamore defender. As Cappamore that restart play now. And Owen O'Donoghue with the ball. O'Donoghue lays it off to Deere. Deere, good run from Bill Creamer on his outside. Marauding down this right hand side now as Creamer shows his pace and trying to beat a couple of Kildimo Pallaskenry defenders. He's tripped. Free taken quickly by Brian Fitzgerald. Con Berkery now, shooting chance for Berkery. It's a decent effort, and that's gone over the bar. A fine score from the Cappamore captain to level things once again here in Newcastle West. Cappamore won 5, Kildimo Pallaskenry 8 points, and Matt, that was a point that Cappamore badly needed.
And coming from the captain who drove on up through the field and eventually finished it off is a very, very good score. And it must be said at this stage, John, that we're seeing a much better second half. There's better passages of play, probably less unforced errors. Now there's still the needless frees being given away, but Jonathan Hayes has been totally consistent in the application of the rules.
As Kildimo Pallaskenry come away here right in front of us in the commentary box here with Connor Staff. Staff under good pressure from O'Donoghue, good defending from the Cappamore cornerback. He's forced to lay the ball back to Evan McCarroll, and it's Larkin O'Leary who gives the ball in. It's a chance here. Dara Deegan's away, mistake in the Cappamore defence. It's Deegan with the shot, and he's put it wide. Huge chance for Kildimo Pallaskenry. Dara Deegan clean through on goal. His marker, Jason Fitzgibbon, missed the ball in from Larkin O'Leary. Deegan was clean through and goal. Perhaps hit it a bit early, Matt, but it's a chance. Chances like that on county final day have to be taken. They
have to be taken, especially in a game that appears that will be decided by small margins and fine margins, because it's very tight, it's level. We're heading for the three-quarter stages of it. But again, did the goalkeeper give him many options?
John Chalk did well to cover the angles alright as Cappamore back on the attack with Brian Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald under pressure from Mossy Sheehan. Fitzgerald now looking to take on his marker. Now looking for teammates since Jack Sheehan recently introduced on the Cappamore side, who goes on the attack. It's a poor enough hand pass from Sheehan, has to be said, and Bob McKeough comes away with it for Kildimo Pallaskenry to Darren O'Connell. O'Connell now on that far side here in Newcastle West. Lays the ball back inside to Tony McCarthy. McCarthy to Kyle Hayes, and Hayes now with possession. Hayes decides to give the ball in early enough, and it's Nash that has it for Kildimo Pallaskenry. He's Hayes on his inside, and Hayes goes. Bill Creamer with the challenge. Hayes shrugs it off. Kildimo looking for a free. It's Connor Staff instead who takes possession, and Connor Staff with a fine score off his left foot. He scored one off his right in the first half, Matt, and as you mentioned moments ago, definitely the standard has improved in the second half.
Absolutely much better fare in the second half, and that was a very nice neat passage of play and interplay involving Kyle Hayes and Peter Nash. First of all, Peter Nash releasing Kyle Hayes. He was fouled, but the referee gave the good advantage by Jonathan Hayes, and Connor Staff applied a very good finish.
It's Hayes and Nash on the run again. It's Hayes with the attempted shot. It's well to the wide and left, but still Kyle Hayes having an impact now in the last couple of minutes. Introduced at half time for Kildimo Pallaskenry. Their last two attacks, as Matt said, he's linked up well with Peter Nash. This time the finish wasn't there, and Brian Leahy will restart play with a kick out for Cappamore. It's Leahy with a long ball looking for one of his midfielders, but it's Pallaskenry man that got a punch to it, and that was Keil Maloney, but it's Cappamore with possession now, and it's up to Jack Sheehan. Sheehan now lays the ball back, and it's Cappamore on the attack, and it's Declan Deere with time and space. He gives a low one into Murphy. Murphy with time to turn has the ball in possession. Murphy with the shot. John Chalk easily collects that. It was a poor effort from Andy Murphy, and Chalk with a beautiful kick out finds Bob McKeough. Definitely the standard has improved, and definitely the urgency between both teams has improved, as Connor Staff takes the possession again under pressure from Bill Creamer. Creamer misplacing his ball. The ball comes in now to Deegan. Deegan lays it off. Bob McKeough to Peter Nash. Nash with a beautiful swing of that right foot. Looks to be good here, and that's a fantastic score from Peter Nash. And Nash is starting to take control here from Kildimo Pallaskenry's point of view. They lead by a point once more, 9 points to 1-5 as Cappamore make another sub. It's Michael Ryan in for Joe Lonergan on the Cappamore side. Their second sub of the second half. Kildimo Pallaskenry are also making a sub, and it's the introduction of Liam O'Sullivan for Sean Barry. Barry's had a quiet game, Matt, and it's no real surprise to see him coming off at this stage.
Yeah, and of course you must remember Sean Barry is a minor, and he's a central figure of the minor team that will be playing in the county final next Friday evening against St David's. So Sean Barry is a young lad with a very bright future. He plays centre back for the minor team, and obviously he'll be disappointed to be coming off. But just on a score check, actually Kildimo Pallaskenry are leading by 2 points, because the scoreboard was a bit behind the action there for a few minutes. It's 10 points to 1-5.
Okay, Cappamore looking to try and fashion a goal chance with Andy Murphy there, but again Kildimo Pallaskenry do well to defend, and another fine pass out the field by John Chalk to Bob McKeough. That's the man just on the field now. Liam O'Sullivan with possession for Kildimo Pallaskenry, and he speeds away from Bill Creamer. Not an easy task is that. He gives the ball. It's a loose enough one though from O'Sullivan. It's going to trail out over the far sideline. Poor enough pass there, attempted pass from O'Sullivan as Cappamore look to get things underway here. Kildimo Pallaskenry leading 10 points to 1-5 in this Fitzgerald Woodlands House Hotel sponsored Limerick Junior A Football Championship final. Diarmuid Sheehy for Cappamore. It's not the best of passes either from Diarmuid Sheehy as he looks to find his men in the full forward line, and it's Mossy Sheehan away with it for Kildimo Pallaskenry. Inside to Keil Maloney. Sheehan again lays it off, and Maloney on the run again here. It's into O'Sullivan. O'Sullivan now lays it off to Peter Nash. He's got Kyle Hayes on his flank. Nash leaves it off to Hayes. Hayes now with a chance. He's clean through. Kyle Hayes gives the ball across. Goal chance here maybe still. Deegan has the chance. Blocked by the Cappamore defender. Kildimo Pallaskenry mentors looking for a foot block. Referee Jonathan Hayes didn't think so, and it's Cappamore to come away with the ball again with Deere. Deere inside to Sheehan now. And down this far side comes Jack Sheehan from Cappamore. Sheehan now on the run. Forced to come back inside, looking for his teammates. It's Declan Deere who gets us a pour from Deere, and he's forced to kick it straight in. Ball falls, mistake. Murphy, goal! Goal for Cappamore, a mistake in the Kildimo Pallaskenry defence. Has to be said, Matt, and Murphy was alive to it instantly. Quick turn, second he got it into his hand and buried into the corner.
Yeah, gave John Chalk no chance whatsoever. But if we go back, to the opportunity that was here at the other end, and it was a quick switch up the field. Kyle Hayes laid off the pass. Which player was his intended target, I don't know, but certainly it got into Adare Deegan's hand, and like there was really only one option there now, and I don't think goal was the option. Your team had gone 2 points ahead, knock it over the bar and go further ahead, because certainly it was awkward enough an angle, and we see what has happened. It's cleared, gone down the other end, and Barry Murphy has rifled it into the back of the net, and Cappamore are now ahead 2-5 to 10 points.
Andy Murphy's second goal of the game, mistake by Kevin O'Connell in that attack from Cappamore. It was Declan Dear's first time. Ball inside after he lost possession. Meanwhile, it's a free here for Cappamore. Brian Fitzgerald is to take. Brian Howard, the judge, to have handled the ball on the ground, and it's a beautifully struck free from Brian Fitzgerald, and all of a sudden Cappamore into a 2-point lead. They lead Kildimo Pallaskenry 2-6 to 10 points after 15 minutes of the second half of this Limerick Junior A Football Championship final, brought to you live on sportinglimerick.com as John Chalk looks for Kyle Hayes from his kick out. It's a push in the back from Hayes. Did well to catch the ball, but he only caught it on the back of a push, and it's Cappamore who restart play with a free with Bill Creamer to Declan Dear. Dear now back to Creamer, under pressure from Hayes. Creamer forced to bring it back inside, and it's Conor Sheehan, 2 points since he's come out from his full forward position into Eamon Sheehan. It's a wild shot from Eamon Sheehan that tails well wide of the post, Matt, and kind of a hurried shot from Eamon Sheehan. No need to take that one on. Would have been better advised to work the ball. He
would have been better advised, but it must be said also, like, that when Conor Sheehan got the ball, there were very few options. Certainly in a forward position, there were very few made themselves available. But Kildimo Pallaskenry had been hit a huge blow, and it will be interesting to see how they respond.
Kyle Hayes now with another good catch from John Chalk, kick out and up to Peter Nash, down to the far side here. Nash will look to take O'Donoghue on. He eventually lays it off to Hayes now, and ball back inside. Darren O'Connell with possession. O'Connell left-footed shot. Ball is kept well in play by Liam O'Sullivan, and it's Larkin O'Leary now with possession for Kildimo Pallaskenry. Back to Connor Staff. Connor Staff's attempted hand pass is well blocked by Cappamore, and they come away with the ball with Peter O'Brien. Lays the ball off to Con Burkery. Burkery assesses options, gives it to Dear. It's back inside to O'Brien again, and it's Conor Sheehan now with possession for Cappamore. Sheehan goes long, looking for Andy Murphy. It's Murphy had got away from his man, 2 men inside, and Murphy, chance of a point. It's a poor effort under not much pressure from Andy Murphy. And Matt, in the last couple of minutes we've kind of resorted back to what we saw in the first half. Needless shots being taken, hurried shots being taken, and both teams again could be doing better.
Yeah, the last 5 minutes it has regressed back into a pattern that we saw in the first half, and you would have to say, particularly in the final third, at both sides, that the decision making, John, is poor.
Liam O'Sullivan now with the ball. It's Kildimo Pallaskenry look to launch another attack. It's O'Sullivan with the ball across. There's chance here, room for Larkin O'Leary if he can get possession. O'Leary has possession. Looks to be going for goal. He'd be better advised leaving it off. He leaves it off to Nash. Chance here. It's Deegan this time, and again he's missed it. But Darren O'Connell is there from the rebound, and he fists the ball home for Kildimo's first goal. It was a well worked move initially. O'Leary took the ball on, eventually worked it across to Deegan. Deegan's initial shot was blocked. Ball fell kindly to Darren O'Connell, and Matt, first time, fisted the ball home, and Kildimo are back in front.
Yeah, I suppose it was a well worked goal in many ways. And I suppose there's a certain element to look with any goal, but credit to Darren O'Connell. When the opportunity presented itself, he did not look a gift horse on the mouth. He wasted no time in putting it away, no fumbling or anything about that. And just put it in. We see Cappamore are making a substitution.
Substitution indeed. It's Jack Leonard coming on for Eamon Sheehan on the Cappamore side. 18 minutes played of this Fitzgerald's Woodlands House Hotel sponsored Junior A Football Championship final here in Newcastle West. At 3 p.m. on sportinglimerick.com we have the senior final between Adare and Ballylanders, but it's all about the junior final for now, as Kildimo Pallaskenry lead Cappamore 110 to 2-6. Goal there from Darren O'Connell, who scored 1-1 since being introduced at half time. Sideline ball over on that far side, which Tony McCarthy takes. It's poor enough one from McCarthy, but Jason Fitzgibbon is unable to gain possession. Hits off him, and it's going to be another chance for Kildimo Pallaskenry. Liam O'Sullivan with the ball in his hand. He leaves the ball off. It's Darren O'Connell with possession. Gives a short one to Kyle Hayes. Hayes now back to O'Connell. Steps inside his man. O'Connell now looking to leave the ball off. It's a good run from Darren O'Connell. Low hand pass inside to Deegan now. Dara Deegan under pressure from Dermot Sheehy. It's Sheehy that'll come out with the ball from Cappamore's point of view. Lays the ball off. It's Conor Sheehan all the way back there. In fact, it's not. It's the recently introduced Michael Ryan for Cappamore. It's a struggle to move the ball forward. They eventually do, but it's a poor enough hand pass, and it's Keelan Maloney with possession for Kildimo Pallaskenry. Maloney now looks to give the ball in. There's time for Larkin O'Leary, and that's a point from Larkin O'Leary. It's a 2-point lead all of a sudden for Kildimo Pallaskenry, Matt.
Yeah, and well taken by in the finish by Larkin O'Leary. Now it was straight in front of the goal, but there was a bit of pressure on, and it was a patient build up by Kildimo Pallaskenry, much better than we saw in the previous 5 minutes. And like we're heading in for the last 10 minutes of the game, and we could have a very interesting finish, but we would have to note at this stage the impact that both Kyle Hayes and Darren O'Connell have made, and you would just ask yourself the question, had they been in from the start, what would have been the situation? Because certainly Darren O'Connell has added energy and guile in the attacking end of the things, but Kyle Hayes has got on an awful lot of ball and used it quite well around the centre of the field.
As Matt was talking there, Peter Nash with another attempt for Kildimo Pallaskenry, looking to stretch their lead to 4 points, but it's gone to the left and wide. That's Cappamore with the kick out once more. It's Ryan now with the ball for Cappamore. Cappamore on the attack now, under pressure from Hayes. And Jonathan Hayes has brought play back for a free. That's going to be taken by Bill Creamer now. Creamer well spotted by Larkin O'Leary on that occasion, but it's Conor Sheehan who wins the ball. It's Michael Ryan who launches it long, looking for Andy Murphy, and it's a mistake by Kevin O'Connell at the back. This time he's not punished for it, as Brian Howard does well in defence for Kildimo Pallaskenry, as Kyle Hayes tries to bring possession into the Cappamore half. It's well mopped up by Owen Donoghue, and he finds Dermot Sheehy on his inside. Kildimo Pallaskenry have a man down on their own 21 metre line. Cappamore looking to take advantage of that, but it's going to be a free for Kildimo Pallaskenry. The man down, it's Kevin O'Connell, the man who looks to be in serious trouble there around the D on his own 21 metre line. But Matt, a nameless ball down from Michael Ryan in that last Cappamore attack. Kevin O'Connell did make a mistake. It fell to his full back line member Brian Howard, but Kildimo Pallaskenry can't be afforded to be making mistakes like that with two men marking Andy Murphy.
Yes, especially with Andy Murphy prowling around there, the supreme predator as he has proved in this game, with two very well taken goals. But at this point, at this juncture of the game, with about 8 minutes to go, Kildimo Pallaskenry are in a strong position. Whilst the game is on the balance, you would expect that, having conceded the goal and having recaptured the 2-point lead, having gone 2 points behind and now gone back 2 points in front, that in this home straight that they may drive on. It's an opportunity to put their name in that cup for the first time.
Darren O'Connell now in possession as he takes on Owen O'Donoghue, beats him with ease, and it's O'Connell on the run, lays the ball off to Nash. Nash looking to find a shooting chance. He lays the ball off indeed to Larkin O'Leary. O'Leary now on again inside to Liam O'Sullivan. O'Sullivan is judged to be fouled. Should be an easy enough free for Peter Nash from here. And Matt, a chance to stretch Kildimo Pallaskenry's lead to 3.
Yeah, and if my reckoning is right, it's the first time that they will have gone 3 clear, and psychologically it may be very, very important. Cappamore are having an absolute crowded defence back there. Larkin O'Leary got the ball and he turned. He didn't even have room to turn. There were 2 or 3 players on it, and it was the same there when they conceded the free. Now you would have to fancy. It looks as if, is it Peter Nash is stepping up to it?
Indeed it is, it's Peter Nash. Makes no mistake to put Pallaskenry into a 112-2-6 lead here in with 24 minutes played of this Limerick Senior or Limerick Junior A Football Championship final between Kildimo Pallaskenry and Cappamore. 3-point lead, as Matt said. They're in the lead by that margin for the first time in this game as Brian Leahy restarts play with a kick out. It's added to by Peter O'Brien, but waiting from Kildimo Pallaskenry was Bob McKeown. McKeown lays it forward. Connor Staff gets a hand to it, and Staff now tightly watched by Con Berkery, but Staff manages to get the ball away. It's Adare Deegan who has it for Kildimo Pallaskenry. Good pick up from Deegan, but was never really able to get possession. But it's Kildimo Pallaskenry with it still. It's Darren O'Connell with a point chance, and Kildimo Pallaskenry into a 4-point lead. That's 1-2 for Darren O'Connell. Matt, you mentioned it a few minutes ago. Himself and Kyle Hayes have made a huge impact since coming on at half time, and now Kildimo Pallaskenry with 5 minutes left of regular time into a 4-point lead.
Yeah, and it's a very, very strong position to be, and really for the last 4 or 5 minutes.
It's Kyle Hayes on the attack here for Kildimo Pallaskenry. Can he finish it? He looks for the goal. Bit off balance and it hits the post. It was going over the bar anyway. If it wasn't going to threaten Brian Leahy's goal. Hits the post and wide, but Matt, more evidence of Kyle Hayes' and Darren O'Connell's impact.
Yeah, huge impact, and certainly for the last 4 or 5 minutes in particular, Cappamore have been really, really on the hind foot, and all the pressure is coming down on that goal. And just to repeat what we said earlier, in contrast with their dominance in the early stages, they're converting scores.
High ball in from Darragh Deegan. It was an attempted shot. Larkin Leary was first to it, but he was unable to gain control of it, and away come Cappamore with Bill Creamer. Creamer to Michael Ryan. Ryan looks outside and finds Jack Leonard. Leonard now lays the ball off. As Con Berkery in possession now for Cappamore. Berkery back inside to Leonard now. Better attack from Cappamore. Creamer back to Berkery inside. Berkery with the hand pass. That's Fitzgerald who has it. Fitzgerald now cuts inside again, and he's tripped. It's going to be a needless free from Keelan Maloney there. A chance for Cappamore to reduce Kildimo Pallaskenry's lead to 3.
Yeah, it's very, very important that they convert this. It will bring them back within a score with about, what do we reckon, about 4 minutes of normal time left.
We're just waiting on Donegal Callahan to tell us what's left of added time as Fitzgerald takes this one. No mistake from Fitzgerald, and Kildimo Pallaskenry are about to bring on Owen Cuddihy, who's coming on for Connor Staff on the Kildimo Pallaskenry side, as John Chalk gets prepared to take this restart play with a kick out. Chalk, who's had a relatively quiet day with facing shots, but has managed everything with relative ease. As Cappamore trail Kildimo Pallaskenry in the final stages of this Junior A Football Championship final, 113-27 now, as Mossy Sheehan back with play with the ball up to Peter Nash. Nash, the lovely ball from Nash inside, looking for Liam O'Sullivan. O'Sullivan gives the ball across. Now back to Darren O'Connell. O'Connell, hand pass off back to Peter Nash. Nash with the shot, and it's an absolute beautiful score from Peter Nash that puts Kildimo Pallaskenry back into a 114-213 lead, Matt, and another fantastic score from Peter Nash, who it has to be said has bossed this second half.
Yeah, he has profited considerably from the impact that particularly Kyle Hayes was making around the middle, and to a lesser extent Darren O'Connell, because a lot of the attention switched to those two. And what a cracking shot!
Cracking effort there from Con Berkery after a swift Cappamore moved the ball quickly up the field. It was a powerful shot from Berkery, but John Chalk, as he's been all game, he hasn't just mentioned that he hadn't had much to do, made a fine save, and Kildimo Pallaskenry come away with the ball, and it's a free for them right on the Cappamore 65-metre line. But Matt, a needed save to be made by John Chalk.
Yeah, and that probably will go down as the match-winning save, coming as it does 2 minutes from the end, and all eyes will be on Donegal Callahan, the fourth official down here under us. He will be putting up the board in a minute or two. It maintained and preserved Kildimo Pallaskenry's 4-point lead. And John Chalk has conceded 2 goals. There was no goalkeeper in the world could have stopped either of them. They were bullets.
Cappamore on the attack once again. They know they need a goal at this late stage. And it's Fitzgerald. Diarmuid Sheehy has made his way up. It's Jack Leonard now. Leonard with the hand pass, but Kevin O'Connell is there for Kildimo Pallaskenry, and it's Tony McCarthy who eventually clears play. Lovely pass from him at the outside of his right boot to Liam O'Sullivan. O'Sullivan then gives it low along the ground to Larkin O'Leary. O'Leary with a lovely pick up now in the final stages of this Junior A Football Championship final. It's Bob McKeown. Bob McKeown inside Deegan with a chance to finish it off, and it's a fine stop from Brian Leahy. Makes the save. It shouldn't make too much of a difference, but Dara Deegan has had at least 3 or 4 goal chances, 3 or 4 attempts. It still is unable to find the target.
Yeah, it's one of those games he will wonder why he hasn't raised the green flag. He's got the opportunity now. One opportunity he got, he probably should have put it over the bar. He took the wrong option, but he certainly has got into good goal scoring positions, and probably on another day perhaps 2 would have been converted, maybe 3 of them. I suppose the management will be happy that he's getting into those positions.
As Peter Nash about to take this 45.
3 minutes of additional time. 3 minutes.
Sideline official Donegal O'Callaghan indicates there will be 3 minutes of additional time at the end of this Limerick Junior A Football Championship final. It's a low one in from Peter Nash, and it's Deegan who does well to get possession. Lays the ball back to Nash. Nash now under pressure from Declan Deere, but Nash manages to hold on to it and lays the ball off to Kyle Hayes. Hayes will only look to hold on to possession, wind the clock down even further, and gives it back to Nash. Nash then back inside to Cudahy to Hayes, and Cudahy again back to Tony McCarthy. And Kildimo Pallaskenry just have to hold on to possession, but McCarthy looks to be going for more. Indeed he doesn't. Lays it back to Hayes, and Matt very evidently playing down time, playing possession, professional way to finish the game.
Yeah, they're actually closing the game out, frustrating the Cappamore defenders. They're running around chasing shadows. They're holding the ball very well. Players making themselves available. Good energy in these closing stages from Kildimo Pallaskenry, but I suppose the adrenaline of being within touching distance of getting over the line is driving him on. We have been down here now for the last 60 seconds. A pass hasn't gone astray, and
as eventually Cappamore lose patience with it, and there's a challenge there. It's going to be a free to Kildimo Pallaskenry as Cappamore make another sub. It's Kevin Ryan who's coming onto the field for Jack Campbell. But it's Kildimo Pallaskenry's game here. They lead 114 to 2-7 in the final stages of this Fitzgerald Woodlouse House Hotels sponsored Junior A Football Championship final. As Peter Nash has been named man of the match here by those in the media for a fantastic performance, especially in this second half. And the ball goes into Larkin O'Leary now. Again, it's under pressure from Diarmuid Sheehy, but it's O'Leary who beats him. O'Leary now gives the ball back to Owen Cudahy, back to Nash, the aforementioned Nash, who looks for another score. It's a wild one from Peter Nash, and it's well to the right and wide.
It's as good as a score at this stage, John, but the announcement that Peter Nash was player of the match or man of the match was greeted with huge acclaim down here on the Kildimo bench, which is well ready to invade the pitch and celebrate what looks like a first county junior A football title.
A well-stocked bench it is too, Matt. Again, as they come away, Starn O'Connell winning possession, leaves it off to Liam O'Sullivan. O'Sullivan on the run. He has Deegan inside. Deegan now has Peter Nash. Can he finish it off with a goal? Nash with the chance. That's going to be a penalty. Foul by Michael Ryan. Nash was about to top off his display with a goal, but it's a penalty. It could be a card as well for Michael Ryan. Be interesting to see what. It'd more than likely be Peter Nash to take this penalty, Matt. It'd be interesting to see what he does. You'd imagine he'll go for the goal to top off the victory, but Michael Ryan had no real option but to take Peter Nash down.
No, and I'm just wondering, has the referee? He's applying no sanction, is he?
No card whatsoever for Michael Ryan.
Last action of the game, John.
Indeed it is. As Peter Nash now, Kildimo Pallaskenry set to win their first ever Junior A Football Championship and go into the intermediate grade for next year. It's Nash. He decides to flick it over the bar. That should be that. 115 to 2-7 they lead. And very much this kick out from Brian Leahy should be the last action of this Junior A Football Championship final here in Newcastle West. It's been brought to you live on sportinglimerick.com. Indeed it is. And Kildimo Pallaskenry are champions. Junior A Football champions for 2018. Great win for Kildimo Pallaskenry. Matt, the management team of Sean Cudahy, Noel McCarthy and Killian O'Leary have led this team after a couple of defeats in the semi-final stage in the last couple of years, the knockout stages. They finally got over the line.
They did, and we were saying at the start in our preview that we were of the opinion that Kildimo Pallaskenry just had found form at the right time of the season. And that is how it has transpired out there today. We had a very, very poor first half, John. There is no hiding of that. But it must be said that we had a much, much better second half. And whilst it takes two to tango, credit both sides for that. But the agenda for the second half was clearly set by Kildimo Pallaskenry. They set out, and of course we have to repeat it, that the introduction of Kyle Hayes and Darren O'Connell was massive, and suddenly Peter Nash, who was well marshalled in the first half, was suddenly finding more space, and he was making it count, unlike the first half when their shooting was completely off cue, was very, very poor, and the halftime score certainly did not reflect the amount of, I won't say superiority, the level of dominance. At a difficult stage in the game, when his team was struggling to get a grip in the game, Tony McCarthy was very, very much to the fore, and full credit to your captain for that, and that's what you look to captaincy for. Overall, I suppose almost a game of two halves. Very, very poor second half. It gave way to a second half that was entertaining. Entertaining with some good passages of football and a couple of very, very good scores. Congratulations to Kildimo Pallaskenry. It's a club on the way up. They won the county intermediate hurling championship last year, to go up to Premier Intermediate this year. Did very well to reach the semi-final in their first year. There was no question of consolidation. It was a question of driving on. Now they will be dipping their toes in intermediate football in 2019, and clubs will tell you, and managements will tell you, that brings all sorts of problems. And it brings a certain level of management skills within the club between the hurling and the football. They're facing it, but I'm sure it's the type of problem that they're very, very happy to have. And well done. Commiserations with Cappamore. They gave it their best shot. They recovered from what was 3 very difficult years in the latter years in Premier. And, you know, any year you get to a county final, you have to temper the disappointment of losing by saying at least you got there and you got that far and you were second almost in the county. The challenge now for Cappamore is to come back again, and it's very hard, I know, to keep coming back, but the challenge is there to come back and next year and see if they can go one better and regain their intermediate status. But for now, the evening belongs to Kildimo Pallaskenry.
Indeed it does. Is on the far side here in Newcastle West, far side from the commentary box. Tony McCarthy lifts the trophy. As Matt mentioned, it's going to be them in the Intermediate Football Championship for 2019. For Cappamore, it's a case of regrouping and giving the Junior A Championship another go. Coming up here on sportinglimerick.com from about 10 to 3, we have the senior final between Adare and Ballylanders. Adare looking to win their second successive senior football championship, having won their first ever in 2017. Join us again for that.